Top things to know before you move to Colorado, specifically Aurora, Colorado. Hi, Jason Morris, eXp Realty. I hear your Aurora real estate export. Definitely click below to subscribe and get alerted on my email on my videos that I do every week. But here are the top things to make sure you know before you come to Colorado. It's definitely a different climate. That's number one. Everybody talks about it. There's a couple aspects of the climate. One, we do have all 4 seasons, but they all occur throughout the whole year. So a lot of people's exposure to Colorado is through the media, sporting events, mostly the Denver Broncos. People all over the country know about them, but you see the games on TV. Generally in the winter, there's snow. And funny thing that happens here when Denver Broncos show a game that's snowing, the mountains and the ski resorts get activity those following weeks because the snow is usually good. But a lot of that is everybody's perspective. If you don't hear, you don't really know the climate. So if you're thinking of moving to Colorado, know that it is not snowing all the time in the winter. We do get cold, but snow doesn't generally stick around. This winter was a little unique where some of it did stick around. It was a little colder, but that doesn't always happen. However, we can get that weather almost all year round. This has been a little longer winter than normal. Right now we're in the spring, and we got snow last Friday. There's potential snow this coming at the end of this week, but it was also 80 last week. So we get all the weather all year round, and that is something that you need to know before you come here. So don't expect, while we do get all 4 seasons, don't expect them to be isolated by the calendar. They happen all the time, all year long. Also with the climate, we're a very dry climate. Probably hear people talk about that, good or bad, depending on your perspective, but we have no moisture here. Humidity is basically zero. Obviously it rains, we'll have the humidity then, but outside of that, we have no moisture at all. There are some reservoirs around that hold some water that people can play in, fish in, that type of thing, but no moisture. We are generally in droughts around here, but this year we've had very good snowpack in the mountains, and so hopefully that helps out with all of our water needs. But again, so yeah, those are kind of two big things with the climate. We get all 4 seasons all year round, and it's a very dry climate, not a lot of water. A lot of our water resources go to other states, both to the west and south. Something else you need to know is our airport. So we have the Denver International Airport, relatively new, east of town. It's not in the middle of Denver anymore. It is very far east. So when you fly in, you will have a while to travel to get to your destination. So keep that in mind. Always recommend to come visit if you're thinking of moving here. And so when you fly in, just know that you'll have some travel time there. You can get that on the web when you search around as well. But again, make sure you're aware of that. Also is the time it does get to the ski resort. So again, a lot of people's initial perception of Colorado is going to the ski resorts, but they are hour and a half away from the airport. So again, you'll see that on the web, but make sure that you plan for that. But the mountains are great around here. I was actually up in Evergreen last weekend looking at houses, and some of the views are just spectacular. As you get further up into the mountains to the ski resorts, the snow is fantastic. The resort towns are fantastic. Anything and everything you can want are up there. So make sure you experience that as you visit. Some other nice places to go: Estes Park. It's northwest of Denver, the Denver metro area. Right up I-70, there's Idaho Springs, our Central City, Blackhawk casino type places up there. But again, nice things to visit. From a shopping perspective, so we have a lot of the smaller shops. We have some malls. A lot of the malls have kind of gone out of favor, but the biggest mall in the area is Park Meadows Mall. It's an indoor mall still. We did have an Aurora Mall that's been converted to more of an outdoor mall. But we do have shopping all over. We have the outlet stores, two big locations for the outlet stores. One is up in the mountains outside Dillon, and the other one is down south in Castle Rock. That's a big shopping area down there, so be sure to experience that. Other things to know is actually, if you are thinking of moving here, is the price that you get for your money. So be sure to really investigate. One of the sources of that is price per square foot. There's three measurements there. One is the house square footage above ground. Those are any of the floors, above the ground, because most houses in the town have a basement. So that's the second measure, is the total square footage, including the basement. And the third is the finished square feet. So if some of the basement is finished, they consider that. So there'll be 3 square feet. So be sure to look at that. A lot of listings on the Zillows, Redfins, that type of thing, will only list one of those square footages. Generally, it's the total building square footage, but not all of it may be finished and livable. So again, you want to make sure you're comparing apple to apples when you're looking at the price and the price per square foot. So I always recommend looking at the total of the whole building and the finished square feet, because that's what you're going to use when you live there. And when you compare those areas, you'll generally come out to find why I live in Aurora. One of those reasons is that price per square foot. You get more for your money here compared to Denver, anything to the west, even going south to Parker. Castle Rock has kind of some competitive markets there. But I really try to encourage people to, from an investment perspective, well, yeah, you're going to live there and that type of thing, but you want to get the most you can for your dollar. And Aurora competes very well with any of the other cities around the Denver metro area. So those are my top items to consider that you really need to know before you move here. Always recommend visit, exploring the place, driving around. If you reach out to me, I do have a Calendly link below. Get on the calendar, we can talk about it and figure out how to get here. I can feel free to drive you around, explore the place, and make sure you get a good sense of the area as you're deciding where to move to next. But I always have Aurora at the top of the list. I've lived here for a long time, 40 years or so, so know it really well. Hope to hear from you. Have a great week.